y'all, welcome to my channel, Fuller Than Life. My name is Kayla, and today we're going to be talking about how to plan a trip on a budget. So I know for me personally, I like to travel, even if it's just for the weekend, and I often find a few limitations. Money, PTO or vacation time, yeah, that's a thing, and flexibility. So like sometimes you'll find like a really cheap price, but unfortunately it's during the time of the year that you don't want to go. So I'm going to share with you 5 tips on how I travel on a budget. Okay, so number 1, you first have to decide on a budget for your trip. So for me personally, I probably spend anywhere from $300 to $500 for a trip, and that's usually pretty good for me. And max would be about $700. And $700, I'm not happy. $300, I'm like, oh, this is amazing. So let's take for instance, my last trip was a trip to New Orleans during Bayou Classic. Immediately you know that the price is more expensive because it's Bayou Classic. So I ended up spending $289.96 on my flight. I know. Normally to fly to New Orleans from Houston cost about $160 max, and you can find flights as low as $60 each way, so $120. So I was a little upset with how expensive the flights were. And then our hotel was $275 each person for 3 nights. While that's not ideal, it was right near the French Quarter, so you kind of want to be near the action so you don't have to drive, you can just walk there. And then on food, I budgeted $140, knowing that New Orleans can be, well, food and drinks. I knew that New Orleans could be a little bit more expensive, and since I don't eat meat, I was prepared to pay money for seafood so that, I could actually eat and be happy. Now, so that total price was $704.96, which is way outside of my $300 to $500 budget that I normally set for myself. So that's an example of on the high end. But on the low end, I planned a trip to Colorado where my flight was $180 round trip. The hotel was $110. Well, it was not a hotel, it was an Airbnb. And it was $110 for 2 nights. We rented a room in a house, a private room in a house. And then the food, we budgeted about $80. And so we ended up spending $370 for a 3-day trip to Colorado. So I enjoyed that. I thought that price was pretty reasonable. So you have to know your budget before you can even begin to plan your trip. So for me, let's say my budget is $400. Let me see how much the flight is. Let me see how much the hotel is. Let me see what I think I might spend for food. And is it near the 400 mark? So the first step, decide how much can you afford for this weekend trip or for this week trip or for a few days. And then I usually pick 3 places that I would like to travel. So in the beginning, remember I mentioned flexibility. You have to be flexible. You cannot be set on one day if you're willing to travel on a budget. So then I'll look at 3 places. Let's say I look at Miami, Seattle, and Colorado. I'm going to look at the flights for each one of these. So I'm going to go to, which leads me to number 3, sorry. Now I'm going to look at the flights for each of the 3 places that I've picked because I really, really want to go to these 3 places. I've never been to Miami, I've never been to Seattle, and I really like going to Colorado. So let me see, how much is it going to cost me to go somewhere new, or is it more affordable for me to just go somewhere that I've already been and just experience something new? So now I'm going to check flights. So I'm going to go to Google Flights. There's an app called Hopper. And that app will let you predict out the price for a flight, or it'll let you track a flight, like track the price of a flight. It'll help you predict out the price of a flight in the future. I also go to Southwest Airlines. Yep. And then like Expedia, sites like that. I use those sites and I just keep looking at prices. I look at different dates. If I do have PTO or vacation time, then I'm looking, what would it be like if I traveled on a Thursday? What if I went Thursday, Friday, Saturday, came back on a Sunday? Ooh, I'm not liking those prices. What if I left out Saturday morning, first thing in the morning, and I come back on a Monday or Tuesday? How can I get the most money, get the most bang out of my money? So number 3, you're just trying to make sure that you're trying to check for the cheapest flight. So you usually have flexible dates. So I'm looking to see what dates are the cheapest. Am I okay with these dates? Am I going to like the weather there during this time? Okay, if I do, then I'm going to pick these dates. I'm going to mark down those prices for those flights. So let's say that Miami was $250 round trip. Seattle was $180 round trip. And Colorado was $180 round trip. So right now, immediately, Miami is more expensive. So then I'm going to research a place to stay because now I know how much it's going to cost to get there. Let me see how much it's going to actually cost me to stay there. So for me, I use Booking.com, Expedia, and Airbnb. And then I try to see which one of those are a good cheap option. So do I mind staying in someone's house while they're there but I have a private room? Do I want a in-law suite where I have like my own private section but I'm still like attached to their house, or I'm like not attached to their house but like right off in their backyard or something? Or do I want the whole house? Or do I just want to go to a hotel where I can check my bags and I don't have to worry about anything and I'm going to be like right there in the mix? So like those are important things to think about. And that's also impactful, like how many people are traveling with you. Normally when I go places, it's usually anywhere from 2 to 4 to 5 people. So it's usually very easy to figure out which option is going to work well. The important part on finding a place to stay is making sure you have your cheap dates to fly. So now let's say that I've looked at all these prices and the Airbnb for Miami is going to be $200. So that's now $450 for Miami. The hotel in Seattle is going to be $250. That's $430. So yeah, so $430. So I have an option of $450, $430, and then if I go to Colorado, the hotel is going to be $200. So that's $480 as well. Oh my gosh, Seattle is really cheap. I think that Seattle might win. So I kind of skipped ahead. That was number 4. Number 4 is compare the prices and check to see which deal is the best. So right now I've just compared all the prices and I've decided that Seattle is the best place for me to go. So I'm going to go to Seattle. But if I use the Hopper app and it told me that the price for Seattle might even drop another $50, is it worth the gamble? If you're a gambler and you like to take bets, then wait. I normally buy the ticket at the time. So for me personally, I will, if it's a place in which I know a lot of people are going to be there, like New Orleans during Bayou Classic, the first thing I got was the hotel. But if it's a place where I know that I can shop around for a place to stay, the first thing I'm going to buy is my plane ticket. So you need to figure out your priorities for the trip and the location that you're going. If you're going during a festivity, a holiday or anything, you probably need to start with a place to stay before you buy the ticket, because the place to stay is usually what goes the fastest. So I hope you all enjoyed my video today on how to plan a trip on a budget. I hope that you all travel the world and let me know where you're going. Have a good day.